Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. I'm inspired to come on and talk to you today after I had an emergency appointment with somebody who's just been evicted from their home. And so I want to talk a little bit about some of the reality of the challenges, or what I call initiations, on this awakening path. Now, many of us resonate with twin flame activation. And so I first want to call out the bullshit that is presented in the spiritual community about the twin flame journey. It is not a romance movie. It is an epic 3-part journey, traveling yourself through the depths of hell, going through tower moment after tower moment and initiation after initiation, to the point where you go through your own purification. It is an activation from God. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, if there's a lot of ego kicking around in your life and holding on to attachments of old belief structures, old behaviors, old ways of thinking, egoic control, any of these things, they will be torn away from you. And the reason for that is because this is bringing us into alignment with soul. So our soul are some badass spiritual warriors. We're up there in the cosmos, drinking a fuck ton of cosmic mead and going, hells yeah, I'm going to go down to planet Earth. It's going to be so rad, man. And if we had read the small print or remembered the small print, we would have known that we were coming down here to clear karma, to break ancestral curses and looping behaviors that have been passed on, creating trauma from one generation to another generation. Maybe we signed on for what it's going to be like to be in narcissistic environments, what we're going to experience with poverty, homelessness, addictions, the worst of the worst situations. Basically, we came down as starseeds and we were planted in shit because there's no more fertile soil than shit. And so many of us have had lives and lifetimes that have felt like, why is absolutely nothing working for me? Like, where is the opportunity? I'm running as fast as I can on this rat race called a human existence, and I'm getting nowhere. Every second person I meet is a bastard who's trying to hurt me, take advantage of me, manipulate me, abuse me. And where are the opportunities? You know, where is this? So growing up in darkness has, in effect, made us very hyper vigilant on the one hand, but on the other hand, that eventually turns into a process of astute and aware with heightened sensitivities of discernment. So these initiations that we've been put through, as brutal as they have been, are in fact for our highest and greatest good. This is warrior work. This isn't love and light and skipping through the daisies and there's a unicorn off in the distance. No, this is badass warrior work. And the worst part about it is there has been zero syllabus to let us know what is going on. So we've been doing this blindly, in a confused state, and completely detached from our conscious awareness of what and who we are. To say this has been mission impossible would not be an understatement. It has been damn difficult, but there is possibility in it. It is just hidden. So I wanted to talk today because at the present moment in time, I know many warriors facing homelessness. I know many warriors facing poverty or extreme debt. I myself have been in that situation, and I know what it's like to fear homelessness. As I was going through my legal battle, I was terrified, experiencing abject terror that I would be left with nothing, no one, and nowhere to go. So I'm very familiar with the anxiety, the panic, and all of the fears that you face as you go through tower moments. And tower moments sound like I'm going to make an egoic decision to change my life. It sounds like, I can see that this job isn't working for me anymore, or this marriage isn't working for me anymore, or this house, or this city, or anything else in my life isn't working for me anymore, but I'm just not sure when I'm going to make the change. And I think that I can, if I just hold off a little bit longer, and if I just create some sort of plan and strategy for myself, that I'm going to be able to move myself through what needs to collapse with ease. Only that's not what a tower moment is like. A tower moment is a total collapse, which means your ego isn't involved with the timing or the way that the destruction happens. Case in point, when Spirit decided I was living in the wrong location, I was hit by a bobcat telling me it's time to leave. Again, I repeat, that was a machine, not an animal. Many people have asked me, you got hit by a bobcat? That's not, I could see the signs that things weren't working out, but in a matter of 9 days, I was taken from one life situation into another one. In a matter of instants, there have been many times throughout my awakening process that my life turned on a dime, and I'm not the only one. This autism that I have has given me incredible pattern recognition, and I have observed in many people on this awakening path what it is to face so many initiations, and those could be a healing crisis. Your health completely disintegrates. Maybe you've just received a diagnosis of cancer or diabetes, like myself, or any other condition. Maybe you're suffering from chronic pain. I also have been suffering chronic pain now for about 6 solid years. Granted, it is better, but it is still there. And you may ask, and I've had spiritual or warriors ask me, why would God put me through this? Did I do something wrong? Am I being punished? And my answer to you is no. And even though I understand where the question comes from, I certainly ask myself enough time, is this my karma? Was I a bastard asshole in a past life? I must have been a Nazi to be able to be punished as much as I'm being punished in this life. But if we reframe it from my story that I said at the beginning, that my soul, unbeknownst to my egoic self, decided I'm going to come down because I'm a badass warrior, and I'm going to clear all the karma, and I'm going to collapse duality, and I'm going to end karmic cycles of ancestral traumas and ancestral curses and all this other stuff, then it's a slightly different perspective. And then I look at it as this pain is trying to teach me something. Without my pain, I can guarantee that I would have been up doing different things. I would have been out living a normal life with everybody else. But when you're in a substantial amount of pain and you're forced to be in bed and you're forced to endure, you're forced to breathe, you're forced to learn how to meditate. It is in itself a lesson in focus. I'm going to breathe into the pain. I'm going to so my pain became one of my greatest teachers. Have I enjoyed it? No. My suffering on an emotional level has been one of my greatest teachers, teaching me what I am actually capable of processing through, what I am capable of doing. And it still boggles my mind. You know, if I had truly videoed every single day that I was in the throes of a panic attack, or I was in the throes of grief releases, screaming and in absolute agony, maybe some of you would understand to the extent, if you don't already, that these awakenings purify us by squeezing and beating the shit out of us. It is not an easy, beautiful, or smooth process. It is hard as hell. But it is for our highest and greatest good. If I hadn't gone through 7 years of processing grief and processing fear, I would not be who I am today. The person that I once was a mess. Emotionally, a mess. I was holding it all together with spit and duct tape, so to speak, with a countless amount of addictions, ranging from physical substances to addictions in thinking to addictions in people, codependency, and I talked about that yesterday. None of those things was in alignment with me, my soul. So as my soul has been loading into a greater state of embodiment, all of the other stuff that was previously jammed in there needed to clear out. And so the purification process is horrific. It is absolutely horrific. But every tear, every shout, every tremor is clearing me out. Am I fully healed and ascended? No. I am still not levitating. I will let you know when I get there. My ego has resisted and fought almost every step of the way. But I have become humbled over and over and over again because I have learned the lesson. If I don't do what spirit wants me to do, what my highest self wants me to do, then the consequences will be worse than facing the fear. So every day I see the fear, I face the fear, and I'm going to press on, because that's all we can do. We are being shown how badass we are. So whether that was facing legal battles, facing a piling up debt that I was drowning in, facing getting strong enough to evict my ex from my home, all of these things came at a cost of exceptional terror. Even doing YouTube videos and showing my process, because I wasn't showing up like other people were. I didn't have all my shit together and my ducks in the row. I was instead showing you a real-time look of what an awakening looks like. And if you look back to my earliest videos, I don't look the same, I don't sound the same, I don't think the same, I don't dress the same. In no way, shape, or form am I still that person. Okay? I look at it like she is gone. She is gone. She has passed away. She is in spirit inside of my heart, and I love her and I care for her, but I am not that same person at all. And the transformational process of going from her to me was no different than a caterpillar going into a cocoon and turning to goo over and over and over again. So if you are going through incredibly difficult times and you are facing challenges that you don't think you're capable of facing, I am here to tell you, you are capable. My whole life, I was told I was incapable of doing anything. Anything that I did accomplish was minimized and downput. Even graduating top of my class in college as an addictions counselor was, oh, but that's not anything. That's not a university degree, so that doesn't count. So I know fully what it's like to feel like I'm incapable, to feel like I am a failure. I'm still processing through that wounding of maybe I am a failure, because in the matrix standards, I don't tally up. I don't have a mass following. I don't make a living income, and I just keep showing up and doing it anyways. My successes are not things that people can observably knock off of a checklist. But yet, I have healed my body. I have become a sober individual. I have survived divorce from a very evil human being. I have escaped from a legal battle. I have lost houses and moved multiple times. I have lost and had to sell most of my stuff, but I have survived. Is my nervous system a fucking wreck? Yeah, but I survived. And so for survival, I'm giving myself a check mark. And that is as much success as I have managed at this point in time, because my awakening is still undergoing. I am still in transition. And now Spirit has very kindly moved me finally to some place that my nervous system can begin to heal. Do I still have panic? Yes. Do I still have moments of paranoia? Yeah, because the hypervigilance program runs in my brain. But this next phase of awakening isn't the end. It's only showing me that there's going to be new challenges down the road, and those are going to look different than the other ones in which I've survived. But the challenges don't stop. The initiations won't stop. And I know that. I am already being challenged for multiple drive trips. Now, that may not be a big deal to some of you out there who've been driving for 40 years, but I've been driving for 8 months, and it was a huge fear of mine. And so coming up in 10 days, I'm driving a 3-hour trip. And now Spirit is, throwing out another hook, saying that Spirit wants me to drive to the United States in July to go to a retreat. And I'm like, oh my God, like that terrifies me. But I say to myself, well, if I can survive everything that I've fucking survived, then I can drive 6 hours to drive myself to the United States. Even though I swore in my life I would never do that. And I am now doing the things that I swore I would never do. When I say I would never do that, it was because I'm not really particularly fond of the political system down south from here. But I'm going to go where I'm called to go, and I'm going to do the challenges that I'm called to face, because I am a warrior, and my initiations aren't over because I'm not fully in alignment with my soul yet. And although, one can look at it as loading, getting into alignment with your soul's mission is not, I really like art class, and so I'm going to do art, and it's going to be great. That's not getting in alignment with your soul. Not if your soul's on the same mission category that I've been on. Your soul's mission is going to scare the crap out of you. It's going to be the opposite of what your ego has been trying to protect you of. So for me, that involves driving and traveling. And I know in my future I am being called to become more mobile and move around in my independence, going places, seeing people. And that is the complete opposite of the way that I was living my life 7 years ago when they attempted to diagnose me with agoraphobia. Is what I said to that. But I can still feel the fears that I experienced for all those years, the fear of driving, the fear of going to new places, the fear of rejection, the fear of ridicule, the fear of not being seen as successful. But that's not what my mission is. My mission is to overcome each fear that faces. My mission is to overcome whatever life challenge throws in my direction. Because everything has a spiritual component. I've had people argue with me in the past that, oh, my physical ailment is not spiritual, it's physical. Well, I don't know how you managed to get your spirit outside of your body, but the last time I checked, they were interconnected. So everything has a spiritual component. This isn't spiritual, it's my house. Is your spirit living in your house? Then it's spiritual. A whole bunch of things in your outer reality are there and designed to test you. Whether it's testing you to create healthier boundaries, testing your discernment, testing your ability to speak up for yourself, testing your ability to go with the flow, testing your ability to accept what is instead of trying to resist, testing surrender, testing blind faith, test. And these tests are unbelievable. So despite my ego's 1,000,001 objections of how I've tried to navigate through living in this world that is got a 3D structure of, oh, you need to do what everybody else is doing that is successful, that's not where my soul is leading me. My soul keeps leading me as in, your job is to be in service. That doesn't show up necessarily as a 9 to 5 with, matrix and algorithms and everything else. The algorithms don't like me. The opposite. And it is what it is. So I am saying to you, if you are facing challenges, then please join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group. Okay? We have Spiritual Warrior Support Group on Facebook. It's an open community. You can post your questions there to anybody else. You can join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group meetings. They are free. They are an open discussion meeting. If you can donate, do. But if you can't, as I just said, as I started this meeting, I am fully aware that many of you are facing poverty. Many of you are facing homelessness. Many of you are facing debt up to the wazoo. So how about you get the support that you need, because maybe the life lesson is that you need to learn to ask for help. Maybe the life lesson is, I've been in independence for so long, I need to have community. Maybe the lesson is to do the opposite thing of what you've always done. And I can guarantee you that is how we will shut down certain paradigms, is by going into the opposing energy for a period of time. So on your awakening, it's going to feel like doing a U-turn over and over and over again. If you're the type of person that's very private and never speaks, you're going to be tested to learn to speak up for yourself. If you're in the opposite energy and you're a talker, you're going to learn to be silent for a period of time. If you're the type of person that's a people pleaser and you let people away with everything, you're going to be called to make some reports. I've had to make so many reports this last year, it's kind of crazy, because I know that they're spiritual tests. So I made a complaint to Toyota Canada. I made a complaint. I wrote a report to the police department with the accident. I reported to the Ministry of Labor. Why? Because I knew nothing was going to come of it for me, but that wasn't the exercise. The exercise was in speaking instead of being a doormat. Because I had spent a large majority of my life with doormat syndrome. So whatever you identify in yourself is like, oh my God, I need to collapse this and I have to learn the opposite. Learning the opposite of, I've always wanted to be in relationship with people, and I've had to learn to be a hermit for a period of time. Sexuality used to be fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And I had to learn to be celibate for a period of time. Will it be forever? No. Will your poverty be forever? Your homelessness be forever? Your hermit phase be forever? Your celibacy be forever? Your silence be forever? Or your over talking? No. None of those things. That's the process of collapsing duality, and it collapses in divine time, in divine way. And so I know that there will be even more challenges down the road, because eventually Spirit will send me divine partnership, and then I have to learn communication. Then I have to learn problem solving skills. Then I have to learn the next bunch of tests that are coming. So if you're seeing down the pipeline that, hey, where's my this? Where's my nice dream house? Where's my nice dream job? Where's my nice... It's not here because it's not time. So whatever energies that we're currently in, whether it's isolation and loneliness or depression or anxiety or fear, whatever it is, it's because that's what you're supposed to be experiencing right now. What? I don't want to experience this, says ego. Well, the longer that you resist experiencing it, the longer you're going to experience it. Because that's how resistance works instead of acceptance. So for now, I'm accepting. I got like little signs that, oh, I'm moving out of my hermit phase, and then I was plummeted right back into my hermit phase. It's not going to go and you turn a corner overnight. Yeah, a tower moment might feel like that. But reintegration won't. It'll be like a dribble comes in, and then you're back doing the other. And then a dribble comes in, and then you're tested again. And then you get the are you sure tests. Are you sure that you've learned the lesson of stopping to jump into relationship too quickly? Are you sure you've learned the lesson of what love bombing looks like? And you're like, oh no, I'm discerning that book now. I'm not falling for that nonsense. Are you sure you're learning the lesson of healthy boundaries and when to walk away from people even though you're feeling lonely? Are you sure? So tests will keep showing up. Keep showing up. And it's going to be brutal. But you will keep getting the tests until you learn the lesson and you sit in the undesirable energy. You sit in the loneliness, you sit in the depression, you sit in the anxiety, you sit in the panic attack. You learn how to have a panic attack. What? How do you have a panic attack? Well, you put ice on your chest and you breathe yourself through it instead of numbing it. I had many panic attacks. I haven't had a panic attack now in years, because I know how to have panic attack. I know what to do. When I have a panic attack coming on, the first thing I do is an ice cold shower. Then I make myself the strongest chamomile tea ever, and I go lie on the grass. And I do that for 6 months. Day in, day out, if that's what's necessary. The amount of panic attacks that I went through as I was going through Dark Night of the Soul was absolutely insane. I am here for you. Despite my ego's desire to be whatever my ego thought that it was going to look like, which it hasn't manifested as, I have to accept what is. And what is God has given me a nice place to be with a lot of time in my hands to help other warriors. So please reach out. If you are struggling, reach out. If you can afford to pay me, that's fabulous, okay? I do have 3 donation price points, but if you are like scared out of your tree and going absolutely ape, please just send me an email, okay? Go onto my website, theyoumovement.com, and fill out a contact form and say, listen, I'm scared out of my tree. My life is falling apart and I need a human to connect to. I'm going to help you, okay? I'm going to help you. Because I can't look at this through this journey through the lens of the 3D matrix. I can't do it. Call me failure, fine, so be it. But I need to support people who are going through what I went through the best of my ability. And if God has given me the time, that means... and the ability, I'm still going through rounds of ego death. This last 2 weeks has been more and more chunks of ego crumbling to the floor and learning to be humble and learning what it is to be in service. Learning to accept that this is what God wants from me right now. Is it the way that I would want my life to look? No. This is beautiful, but I'm alone. And it's difficult. I'm grieving the loss of the way that I thought my life should turn out by now, but it hasn't. So I have to let that go. Sorry, the mosquitoes are starting to come out and bug me. I should have bug spray on, but do I like the mosquitoes? No. But I have to tolerate what is and accept that whatever energy I am currently in, loneliness, grief, depression, it's exactly what God wants me to experience right now. That's it. The unknown, the lack of control, the confusion, that's exactly what God wants me to experience right now. Why? Because I'm being taught blind faith. I'm being taught blind faith. And with that, before I sign off, I have never been a religious person. I am still not a religious person. But there are many beautiful spiritual teachings available to us in all religions. If I were to call myself anything, it would be an omniist at this point, which means a culmination of everything and understanding there is truth in all religions. There is also distortion in all religions. And one of the stories that has given me faith and helped me move forward on this awakening path is the story of Job in the Bible. Now, Job didn't do anything wrong, no more than any of you have, okay? This is just, God decided to test Job, and Job lost his family, lost his wife, lost his monies, lost his land, lost everything. Why are you testing me, God? Why? What have I done wrong? What is the purpose of this? But Job did not lose faith, and Job did not become a manipulator or become, an asshole. Job just kept going and just going, okay, day in, day out, I'm going to accept this is what God wants me to experience right now. This is what I'm experiencing because this is what God commands. And so eventually, in divine time, in divine way, Job was restored. Job was restored. And so I have prayed continuously for my restoration. This is allowing me restoration. So let this be proof to you that restoration is coming, if it hasn't already begun for you. Am I fully restored? Oh, hell's to the no. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were stolen from me. I would like to be restored. I would like to be propelled. I would like to have divine union. I would like to live in my highest and greatest timeline. But I don't get to control that, and I don't get to dictate when it arrives, or how it arrives, or who arrives, or what it looks like, or anything else. I just have to sit back and learn that my co-creation is about allowing God to create for me. God to create for me. When I have an impulse to do something that is spiritually guided, I will do it, right? So I'm having a spiritual impulse to go to Massachusetts, to Kripalu. And my first instinct was, oh no, I can't do this. How am I going to do this? I feel fear. Yet another test. So you will get impulses to do things. They will scare you, and you will do them anyways, because you're a warrior. You're a warrior. And if you're in the middle of a tower moment and your life is collapsing like a dumpster fire all around you, understand whatever is taken will be restored in divine time. So God guide me. God provide me what I need when I need it. Not what my ego thinks I need and what my ego thinks now I need it. Impatience has been a character flaw of mine since the day I was born. But I have well and truly learned patience. There's no way to speed up this. Our ego cannot dictate anything. And so in this process of purification, of absolute destruction of the ego, we let go of any notion that I control the when, the who, the why, the where. Instead, I control my reaction to what is. That's what I can control. I can counter the thoughts by telling myself these thoughts are non-productive and they're not helping me. I can counter the repeating habits by saying this is not helping me and I'm going to choose differently. I can do the things that I'm inspired to do when they come up and show up and I'm afraid of them. Face the stuff, the hard stuff that I don't want to face. Do the taxes or pack the boxes or let go of your PlayStation. Whatever it is, those are the action steps that can be taken. But to control this rodeo, nah, that's above our pay grade. That's well above our pay grade. And so, despite trying my hardest and my damnedest, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to create that, I have been taught over and over and over again. It's not up to me. It's not up to me. My life will turn into whatever God wants it to do. And if the things that I wish that I had aren't here, it's because it's not time. It's because I'm not ready. Wait a second. What do you mean? I'm ready. I'm awakened. No, there's more to do. There is always more to do. That's why I say this is like an epic 3-part movie, 3-movie series. This is the Lord of the Rings. This is the X-Men. This is whatever epic trilogy that is your thing. Because what it isn't is you directing, you producing, and you creating. We've had some very interesting discussions in the Spiritual Warrior Support Group lately about many people that we look up to as gurus, leaders, especially within the spiritual community. And what we're starting to see now is the collapse of the false reality. False idols are collapsing. Look at Deepak Chopra for one. Okay, look at many others that are starting to fall from grace. You have a lot of, top gurus that have been discovered into behaving atrociously with the yoginis. You have people that have misled, misrepresented, and charged exorbitant amounts of money, getting rich off of you. So like the law of attraction, who's one's getting actually rich off this? And so what we are seeing now is the collapse of the false guru. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't make it to that top echelon of spiritual leaders. Because I question now how many of those spiritual leaders are actually providing services that are beneficial to people. So the fact that I don't make a big living out of this and I show up and do it anyways, I hope that vouches for the fact that I am doing this because it is my mission, because I am guided to do it from spirit, not because I'm hoping that, I can rip you off for $5,000. That's not my goal. That never has been my goal. My goal has been to help as many warriors as possible get through the tower moments, get through the destruction, get through the ego death, because I've been through it. And I've lost people already, and I don't want people making permanent decisions to temporary problems. Whatever you are in, this too shall pass. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing, not even this. This is going to step me into what the next is. And what that looks like, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to profess to or pretend to. Yes, I have seen many a prediction, and a lot of them are coming to reality. And because of that, I know how vitally important it is that I just keep showing up anyways. Just keep showing up. I'm going to just keep showing up, and I'm going to just keep being there as a point of reference for you, not as your leader, not as your guru, not as your, I've got it all sorted and figured out. I leave room to learn. I leave room to be the student. I leave room to like be wrong and make mistakes. I leave room to still be human in this journey. And it is human to have emotions. It is most human to have emotions. And so I'm glad that I am a fully functional human that has emotions, and I don't judge myself for that. And anybody that judges me for that, they've got work to do. They got work to do. And I'm not going to judge it for them because they've got work to do. You know, anybody who's projecting outwards is showing you that they've still got work to do. And I've still got work to do. I may just have different work to do. So that is my messages this evening. And I'm going to leave you just with one more reiteration of whatever energy you are in right now, that is because that is exactly where you're supposed to be and feeling exactly what you're supposed to be processing through. This is the work. With that said, the more work done, the more shadow cleared out, the more emotions is expressed, the lighter you will become. It does get better. Hold on. Hold on. Also, if you need help, please check out the playlists and go into the Meditation with B playlist, and you can listen to my voice in your ear, soothing you through the worst of the worst. You don't need to do this alone. You may be on your own, but you are not alone. We are a collective. We are a community. We are experiencing things at the same time, and we have connection in higher realm. So I'm sending all of my warriors the utmost love, and my prayer for you is peace. Peace in, even if everything around you feels like total chaos.